Hello everyone, how's it going? I'm Crendor, and welcome to Goodnight Crendor and my first, talking podcast episode. I guess that's what you could call it. I was trying to decide what I could do, and obviously there's read stories. Obviously there's things like different noises, like the typing noises, or I could do like the finger drumming. I actually really like that noise, so I'm going to probably do that. But I wanted to do a type of podcast radio style thing. And unlike World of Crendor, where I kind of do it based on video game, I guess that's based more on questions. So, that's that thing. I'm still going to be doing that, and on the main channel. And here, I think I'd rather just find random things I want to talk about, and you can listen to it to just listen to it and relax if you want. You can also listen to it to fall asleep. I don't care. I mean, I'm not going to be like, hey, you better not be listening to this while you're playing WoW. I don't care. But I figure I can do different topics. I could do one of these shows where I just talk about sports. That might help some people fall asleep, because I know people don't like talking about or like listening to sports. So you might just be like, I don't really care what he's saying. I'm just happy that he's talking. For example, I could talk about baseball. I actually really like sports, which I guess it's hard for some people to be like, you're a nerd and you like sports? Because I've always grown up with video games, but I've always grown up with sports too. So there's kind of this, I don't know how to put it. It's like a stereotype almost, like if you like video games, then you don't like sports. If you like sports, all you play are sports video games. And being someone that likes sports and video games, I played a lot of sports video games. So I played Madden pretty much every year. I played a lot of the MLB games. I've played NBA. I've played NBA, NBA Live, and NBA 2K. I used to like NBA Live a lot, and then NBA 2K got a lot better to me. Right now, I used to play triple play baseball. Then there was MLB 2K. I believe there was one mixed in there as well, made by EA, but I'm not sure what that game was called, actually. There was also one made by Activision, which was pretty fun. But now I recently bought MLB The Show, which is a really fun game. Now, I also play NHL. I forgot that. NHL is a fun game. What I mainly like in NHL is that you can do the be a player. Like, you create your own player, you create yourself, you do what you want. And you play with other people online in the leagues. So you can play as yourself, and you can play in a public league, you can play with friends. It's just pretty fun because it's almost like an RPG element put into a sport game. And usually I'm not into that, but for NHL, I am. Only NHL, that's it. For other games, you may be like, Crendor, why do you like playing those games? Well, a lot of people, they specifically like playing against their friends, playing online, playing, I guess you could say, like the exhibition style games where they're actually playing the game. When I play sports games, I very rarely play the actual game. What I like in sports games is the franchise mode. To me, franchise mode is one of the most fun things I can do in a video game. I like simulation style management. Now, I like it to a point. Like, if I'm managing the ticket prices so that it's like the perfect ticket price, that's a little too far for me. I like mainly the management of the team. For example, In Madden, I always liked doing the NFL draft. I like doing the scouting. I like doing the trading, free agency. Just kind of like all the management things about the team and player development. And what I would do is I would make my team. Most of the time I did fantasy draft. What fantasy draft is that it puts all the players in whatever thing you're playing. So the NFL, it would take all the NFL players and put them in a big draft. And then you enter this draft with the rest of the teams, and you get to pick players just like it's a normal draft or whatever. So if you get the first pick, you can take Tom Brady, or you can take, Greg Jennings. You can take whoever you want. And you build your own team that way. And so I would do that, and then I'd manage my team and do all this, and I would just simulate seasons. I wouldn't play any games. I would strictly simulate a season. And if I did play a game, it would be in the playoffs. I would only play games in the playoffs, and I would be like, why am I even playing this? I have more fun when I simulate. So I pretty much simulate the whole season, and I'll go a lot of times game by game, and I'll say like, oh, okay, did we win? Did we lose? Do I need to adjust some things? So I like my game to be like very finely tuned for franchise mode, and recently in Madden, they changed it, and they changed the franchise mode to something called career mode. And for the start of it, they didn't even have fantasy draft. And I was just like, this is the stupidest thing ever. And a bunch of people complained that also enjoy that style of gameplay that I like, the fantasy drafts, and it was frustrating. And after a couple weeks or a month or something, they added it in because they were getting so many complaints, which they were stupid. But it made it playable for me, and it was okay. They kind of went more towards the casual crowd, where they're like, hey, maybe you guys want to try career mode, in quotes, which is stupid. They were like, now you get RPG points based on how well you played in your games. And their big thing was they wanted to get people playing their franchise mode games, which that led me very far away. I was like, listen, I don't want to play your game because it's not good. I just want to manage my team. That's all I want to do. And so this year's Madden was meh. I haven't played NBA 2K because I didn't buy this year's for number one because I didn't really care. Number two, it's mainly because I'm a Bulls fan and Derrick Rose hasn't played. And so all I really care about is Derrick Rose. If he's not playing, they're not going to win. Hopefully he'll return for the playoffs this year. If he does, that would be amazing, and I'll watch them in the playoffs. I might watch them anyway. But Derrick Rose. Now, moving on to baseball. I bought MLB The Show 13 because baseball just started. It's a new year, so the Cubs have a chance at not being terrible. Granted, they're very good at it. And I decided, it'd be fun playing a baseball franchise mode again and actually making the Cubs a good team, because I haven't actually played a baseball game in years. I kind of stopped watching baseball after the Cubs lost in the playoffs, and then that was disheartening. But that on top of MLB 2K being awful, just an awful game. And so I bought MLB 2K 10 maybe. I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago. And now I heard that MLB The Show is a much better baseball game and has a franchise mode that isn't terrible. And I didn't have a PS3 up until this year, so I was like, oh, they only make it for PS3. I think I will purchase this game. And so uh, I went and got it, and I'm excited to play it. I haven't played it yet. It looks like a really cool game. The graphics don't suck. The crowd actually looks realistic, which is something that never happens in a lot of other sports games. And it looks like they actually put effort into it. So I'll play it. I would love if the NFL had someone that wasn't Madden make their game, because currently Madden does stupid things like I just previously described. But I'm excited because I'm not really going to play baseball in it. I'm just going to manage baseball teams. To me, it's a lot more fun. A lot more fun. I'm just drinking some water as well. Moving on from that, though, I'm probably going to go play that game right after this, actually. I'm really excited, which I know a lot of you are like, wow. Another thing I found ironic is I was like looking through my Steam and I was like, I'm kind of bored. And then I realized that I have like a bajillion Steam games. And I feel like I should play some of them because I'm like, I have a lot of games and I'm just not playing them. But anyway, I've talked about mainly baseball and football. I could talk a little about basketball. I talked about Derrick Rose. I'm a Bulls fan. I feel the basketball games are one of the most fun to play. And I feel like when there's less people you have to control, it makes it more fun. So, for example, hockey and football, actually hockey and baseball, are probably the two most fun games to actually play. Then I'd say football, just because even though there's 11 people on the field, you actually control like one aspect at a time. So you're the quarterback when it snaps, you hand it off, you're the running back. If you're playing defense, then it's a little bit different, but you have more control over what's happening, is what I guess I'm trying to say. FIFA, actual football for all you non-American people. That's also a very fun game. I played FIFA a couple years ago, and I enjoyed it a lot. One of my friend Steve, he plays a lot of FIFA, and his friend is actually one of the top FIFA players for online leagues. But aside from that, basketball, I really enjoy managing because of that aspect that you don't have a lot of players on your team, and it's a lot more acquiring a big star player or making a star player, like drafting one, means a lot more. And so if I go into a draft, like the college draft, and I get like this star player after having a really bad year, and then I get a big name free agent guy like LeBron James or something, then you're like, oh, I have a really good shot at winning now. And it makes it a really fun thing to manage. And I think that's what I like so much about the management aspect, is that you can manage in different styles with different sports. You know, in baseball, you're looking at all these different positions. You have to look at what you want as your team overall. You want it to be a speedy team. You want it to be a team that hits a lot of home runs. You need pitchers. You need different pitching styles. You need a closer. Then you go to basketball, and it's like, I need a star player. He needs an assistant, and then he needs a good supporting cast. And that's really what basketball comes down to. Maybe you can have 2 star players and then a decent one. The big thing now is having 3 star players, because if you think back in sports, there was Michael Jordan, there was Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman, and then you look at Miami, the Heat, which I don't like the Heat, but they have LeBron, they have Dwayne Wade, they have Chris Bosh. When Boston won, they had Ray Allen, they had Paul Pierce, they had Kevin Garnett. So having three big star players is, I guess, the best way to win in basketball. The Lakers tried that this year. Didn't go so well. That makes basketball fun, but hockey, like I said, I don't really play the management aspect. I don't really play the franchise mode because I get more fun out of making an actual character and playing that character. So I can make myself a forward or a defenseman or a goalie, and I can play in online leagues, and I just get a lot of fun out of doing that more than actually managing a hockey team. Granted, I do like the sport of hockey. It's probably the most fun to watch because it has a lot of action. They are people with what am I looking? Well, hold on, let me start over. It has a lot of action. The players are going at high speeds all the time, skating around, so they're on ice skates. A lot of it's like soccer with ice skates, so it makes it a lot more fun. They're checking each other. The crowd is always really excited because of that high intensity action happening all the time. And it's just, and everyone likes the goalies. Goalies are cool because they get their own mask, and it has cool little logos and stuff on it. And it's kind of like the quarterback of the hockey team is the goalie. Everybody knows the goalies because there's only one. And if I had to pick one sport to just watch for like an entire day, it might be football actually, but I think it would be hockey or football. I don't know. It depends. It depends who would be playing those games. If it was the Blackhawks, it would be hockey. If it was the Packers, I think I would always go with the Packers. Because the Packers, I just like the Packers. Either way, I've talked for quite a while now, and I'm sure some of you have fallen asleep because you don't really care about sports. Some of you may have actually listened and just felt relaxed, and you do enjoy sports. Some of you may not even care what I'm talking about and just wanted to listen to me talk about whatever. All viable options, but I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to go play some MLB 13, the show, and thank you for listening. Okay. See ya.